This sound right here is what's known as the reverse reverb effect. Now this is done on an acoustic guitar, it can be done on electric guitar, it can also be done on vocals, and this is a really cool sound when done in a tasteful way. Let's listen to a James Bay song that everybody knows. He does it in the beginning, in the intro, and it just sounds amazing. Alright, so as you can tell, it's a really cool effect. There are a fair amount of songs that use this. Maybe you can think of one right now. This is used a lot in really produced tracks. Sometimes not, if it's a very tasteful sort of way of doing it. But this is even done on snares and things like that too. So what we're going to do is, I have this song here, and I just recorded a quick vocal. And I want to see how it sounds. So we're going to do this in real time. I'm going to show you actually how to do it. And I'm going to show you how it, is practically applied in this particular situation. So let's just listen to the track first.
At least for tonight, there must be a way to spend some time alone, to say, I wish you were mine. You were mine.
Okay, so you guys get a feel for the track, and I'm thinking that it might be cool if we had that reverse reverb right before this chorus. So what we're going to do is we are going to chop off this first little part. Let's solo this out and listen, and I'll tell you what to actually chop.
At least for tonight.
So you want to chop the first little thing that's happening. So at least for tonight, you really only want the part of it, like the beginning of at, because if you use too much, it can be kind of chunky and get a little messed up. You might have to do this a few times to really actually get it, but if you follow what I'm doing right here, you'll be able to get it pretty quickly. It's a very cool effect. So what we're going to do is we are going to go to the A part of at, and we are just going to chop off the beginning of that, and that's the first step.
At least.
So this little part right here, that sounds very weird. We're going to just take that and we're going to make a chop here, and we're going to chop it over here. And it is helpful to actually go up here and kind of use this as a reference point. But we're going to go ahead and do that, and we're just going to duplicate the track. So we are going to drag this whole thing down. Or you know what we can do is, since I already chopped it, we can just drag down this little piece. And I'm going to mute this over here. And now we have just this little piece. Now what you're going to want to do is you are going to want to add a reverb to it. And the type of reverb you use is very, very important. I have a video explaining the 5 most important reverbs, in my opinion, that are really just used the most. So if you want to check out that video, I will leave a card right up top and you can check that out, or I'll do it at the end of the video and put it in the description. So what we're going to do right here is we're going to add a reverb. So let's just take this plugin off, and we're going to go ahead and add a reverb. We're going to use Reverb. So this is actually stock from Logic. You're going to go down to Reverb, Reverb. And I actually really like this reverb plugin. I'll still use it. I have other reverbs, but I tend to use this. And we are going to go up here to a hall, because halls are very thick. They're extremely large. So rooms really aren't going to work well for this at all. Even chambers are a little bit too thin, I find. So I think using a big hall, like a concert hall here, and we're going to make it pretty wet, if not all the way up. So we're going to adjust this stuff here. The decay is very important. We want this at like 10 seconds. I find that to be a really good space there. So we're going to go ahead and just listen. Now we're going to increase the wetness. So really at like 90 right there works. You can adjust this to your liking. You can pull down the dry and really have it be just reverb, but it's kind of nice having a little bit of the dry signal in. So that sounds pretty good right there, 20% dry and then 90% wet. And what we're gonna do is we are going to bounce this in place. Now, when you bounce this in place, you're gonna go Command B. No, you're not. You're just gonna right click it, stupid me. And we're gonna click bounce in place right here. And what's really important is including the audio tail in region, audio tail in file. This is very important, and what that does is it actually includes the spaced out reverb after that one little section. So I'll show you what I mean by that. We're gonna bounce this in place. We're gonna call it verbed. I don't know that that's a word, but we're gonna call it that. Now, if I solo this out, you can see that there's a tail here that kind of tapers off. And now we're going to give it a listen. Sounds pretty cool, right? Still not seeing what we're doing. What we're going to do is we are actually going to reverse that, and it's going to lead up into the chorus of the song, and it's going to give us a really cool effect. Well, how you reverse things in Logic is you're going to want to go here, and let's say that that's not there. You're going to want to double click on it, and then you are going to go over to File. I believe you have to be on File. Let me just double check. Yeah, you have to go over here to File, and then over here to Functions, you're going to go to Reverse. So you can see once I click that, that has reversed everything. So now it kind of fades in and gets really large, and it's going to sound really cool. So what we want to do from that point is let's just listen to it so you can get a feel for what it sounds like. Sounds pretty cool, right? Now we are going to line that up perfectly with what we took off, and you can actually just drag this back up to this space here and kind of just line it up roughly to where it was. And you might have to play around with this a little bit, but it's nice having that chop there because you can kind of go maybe like right here to where it was, and we'll fiddle around with this and see what it sounds like. So when we unmute that, this is what it's going to sound like. You might have to turn it up a little bit.
For tonight, there must be a way to spend some.
So as you can tell, that's a pretty cool effect. In this application, it's not the most practical. I'm really just showing you so that you know how to do it when it comes time for your own projects, if that makes sense, which it doesn't always make sense. So you have to keep that in mind. You don't want to like overuse this, but it is a cool thing, and you can use it on a bunch of different instruments as well. I hope you guys got something out of this video. It's very simple, very easy. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to chop off that first part. You're going to drag it onto a new track, and then you're going to bounce it in place with the reverb on. You're going to make it pretty wet on the reverb. Then you're going to click on the file, reverse it, and then drag it back up and kind of line it up perfectly, and you have yourself a really cool effect, and it will make your productions a lot more interesting. So I hope you guys got something out of this video. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. It helps out a ton, and we will see you in the next one. Peace out.